Boom.
Oh hi, didn't see you there. How are things? I'm great, cause I just finished hearing Nas' new album, King's Disease. In case you don't remember or you're not aware of it. A few months ago I heard Nas for the first time, starting with 𝕐𝖗𝖵𝖃, and posted my experience in this channel. Since that day, he only grew on me, and since then I went to explore more of his material, and now, even though I'm still not very familiar with all of his discography, I decided to listen to this new album anyways and make a review out of it. And I must say that I was kinda afraid of how this album would sound like, considering I'm not very familiar with Nas' most recent material, but as it turned out, this album surpassed my expectations. It has a few duds along the way that we're gonna discuss later, but overall it is a collection of mesmerizing songs, especially in the first tracks of the album. The instrumentals here are a blend of the traditional gangsta rap/boom bap that Nas became known for with the trending sound or trap music. That on its own, I got to say that I'm not a huge fan, but when it's mixed with other styles, I do really like it. As proven last year by Lil Nas X, and now, by Nas. I'm seeing a pattern here. Anyway, that trap influence can be felt only in certain key tracks, the most notable examples being 27 Summers and The Definition. In general, Nas' approach is similar but different than the music he's known for. In the beats, as I said, his style have been influenced by trap in a few tracks, but that's not it. In various tracks across the album it's possible to hear influences from other genres, such as Car 85, that the intro is a little psychedelic, and in an overall view the beats at the same time they are something that isn't new ground for Nas, but they also don't feel like leftovers from previous albums. They are fresh and tight, which really lifts the mood of the album, even though it's not the best set of beats a Nas record has ever had. For his vocals, they're still great, compelling and vibrant as it has always been, but sometimes I can hear his rhythm getting a little lost, like some lines aren't finishing where they should finish, like sometimes it sounds he's going to finish the phrase but he keeps going, but I think that might be just an impression. For the production, it's well done, no surprises here. Hit Boy is a great producer and he often makes some great material. Here it's no exception, even though he made many better tracks before. That doesn't take away the credit of this record. It's not his greatest, but it's definitely a positive highlight. Talking about those, what are the positive highlights of this album? You'll find out now. Track 2. Blue Benz. In the two great verses of this track, Nas reminds us of his past and still makes the present shine. The lyrics are dynamic and focused, the beat is incredible, the piano is soft and kind, but the electronic part of his beat is very tense and warm, which creates a nice contrast and emphasizes the message of the song. Sadly, this cut has one small flaw, that is its abrupt ending. In a song that has this atmosphere, it could have a faded ending with the beat only so it would be more satisfying, but it's simply over. It kinda kills the mood a little, but not enough to make it not be a positive highlight here. Track 3. Car 85. As I've mentioned before, this song opens with these psychedelic synths and some vocal harmonizations before Nas actually starts to rap. After he does, this beat gets more in the background, and in the forefront of it we have Nas' nostalgic, beautiful lyrics and a piano line played with only 2 chords that, even though it's very simple, it adds perfectly the extra punch needed in this song. And Charlie Wilson's backing vocals are harmonious and it's match made in heaven with the song, especially because of the piano line I've mentioned. Track 4. Ultra Black. Remember when I said the first tracks of the album were especially great? So, now we're having a proof of that. Similar to the previous cut, this one also has a pretty simple piano line in its beat, but this one feels more vintage and with a feel of like late night party, and the lyrics are a celebration of black culture, which it's a topic that's getting every day more relevant, and the cherry in the cake of those lyrics are the countless references to American black culture such as Grace Jones and the Essence Fest, just to mention a few, and the Doja Cat diss that I didn't see coming. I confess it made me laugh. In the long run I do believe this track deserved to be the lead single of the record, not only because of the relevant topics it discusses but also because it's a completely amazing song. Track 5. 27 Summers. A more experimental track to Nas' patterns, 27 Summers is a more trap-influenced track in this record, and for a first impression of this style on him, of course he nailed it hard, with great lyrics reflecting how much his career evolved since the 𝕐𝖗𝖵𝖃 days. It's a short ride, but it's a very fun and slick track. Track 12. The Cure. When the opening guitar wept making the first chord of the song, that sounded so melancholic yet hopeful at the same time, I knew I was going to love this track. I wasn't wrong. Nas is spitting fire in this track, with one of his greatest flows in the entire record. Similarly to 27 Summers, at least to my understanding, he's talking about his career here, but the countless references to pop culture here once again are just perfect, even though I disagree that Lennon hits harder than McCartney. And the beats are possibly not only the best of the entire record but possibly it enters in like a top 10 best beats in Nas songs. With all this praise, I think it's already obvious that this song takes the best track of the record, right? Track 13. Spicy. The bonus track of the record begins with a beat that reminded me of Jedi mind tricks Tibetan black magicians with some hints of trap in it. Which to me it's a win considering I'm a huge fan of Jedi mind tricks beats. I don't wanna sound repetitive but Nas' performance is still amazing just like in the previous tracks and his flow is like no other. And it's a perfect way to close the record, since after hearing this track, even if this was like the introduction of a person to Nas style, people quickly will understand why he is so praised in the East Coast hip-hop scene, and this track will only cement that. But that doesn't mean this album doesn't have its negative highlights, because it does have a few ones. Track 7. Till the War Is Won. This song isn't bad per se, but it's for sure the album's low point. It's another trap-influenced track, but this one lacks all the substance that made the other songs so great. It even feels a little incomplete beat-wise, and dude, I've never heard of Lil Durk before, but I certainly will stay away from him from now on, because that guest verse is annoying as hell. However, I do have to praise the lyrics of the song. Even in the guest verse I hated the sound of, since it talks about black mothers, and considering I'm pretty attached to my mother, the lyrics hit straight at home even though she only fits partially in this lyrical theme, and particularly this track reminds me of Dance, a song from God's Son that I really like. Still I don't see myself returning to this song ever again, but I do respect it a lot. Track 11. 10 Points. Another song that isn't that bad, but the main problem I have with it is the beat. In like the first minute, it sounds nice, but after a while that lingered high note that keeps repeating and it gets more and more annoying every time. I think in that approach they were trying to make it like In the World Is Yours, where this high note worked because it didn't linger and it wasn't so loud. But excluding that, everything else in this song is good, the rest of the beat is fine. The lyrics are great with Nas referencing other black celebrities such as Michael Jordan and Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, but I probably won't listen to this song again by free will because of that damned note. That was King's Disease. Since I'm still not done with Nas' discography I can't compare much with his recent albums, but in all conscience I can say that listening to this record was an experience that I really enjoyed. His flow is still as good as his early days and the beats are superb. It all reminds us of why Nas is one of the kings of East Coast hip-hop. The score I'm giving to this record is an 8.7 out of 10. If you haven't listened to this record until now, I can assure you it's a good one. Alright, so that was it for today's video. What are your thoughts on this record? Please, share your views in the comments and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already subscribed. My name is Marshall and see you next time.